England, the defending world champion, is struggling in the 2023 tournament. They recently lost to Sri Lanka by 8 wickets, marking their third consecutive defeat in the 4 out of 5 matches. Batting first, England managed only 156 runs and Sri Lanka chased it down with ease, securing 157 runs in just 25.4 overs, losing only 2 wickets. Yes, England is currently 9th in the points table, but still has a slim chance of reaching the top 4. Well, that's for the arithmetics experts to decide. England has 2 points from 5 matches with only 1 win and 4 losses. They have 4 matches left, but can only reach a maximum of 10 points, even if they win all of them, including one against India. In their innings, England struggled after an average start, lost wickets consistently. Ben Stokes was the top scorer with 43 runs. Sri Lanka bowlers took crucial wickets with Neharu Kumar taking 3 and Kasin Rajitha, Angelo Matthews taking 2 each. Sri Lanka had strong start and they reached the target comfortably despite losing early wickets. Pratham Nisanka's solid batting made the difference. In the upcoming match today, which is an all-important match for Pakistan as they face South Africa, and it promises to be an exciting as both teams have had ups and downs in the tournament. In the previous encounter, South Africa has won 51 out of the 82 ODI matches against Pakistan, with Pakistan winning 30. They've had faced each other 5 times in the ICC ODI World Cup matches, with Pakistan winning just 2 and South Africa winning 3. Well, it's an exciting, as we enter into the second half of the tournament, everything seems to be exciting. Rajkumar Sharma, the internationally acclaimed Virat Kohli's coach and the Dronacharya awardee, joins us live from, I guess it's Jaipur, and Tasneem Granger, who's just recovering from the airport flu and joins us from her hotel. I'd like to come to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. Mr. Sharma, we predicted, now there seems to be a topsy-turvy in the table standing as we see it on the on a screen right now. If you can just hold on the standings. Sir, England is at number 9. You were upset yesterday when it was there. What is your view of how they will play from here onwards?
Well, Sunil, it looks very, very glim chances for England now to reach in the top 4. Because a lot of they'll have to see that if they win, they lose. So a lot of combinations they will have to look at, and even then they have to win all the matches with good run rate. So it's a very, very slim chances for them to reach semi-finals, and it's I'm really shocked to know that knowing that they are the world champions, and they're struggling at 9th position. So I think they have not played up to their potential, and a lot was expected from England, but somehow they have lost the plot.
I think they've lost their mojo, but more importantly, what they've managed to do is tactical problems. Like, they've announced the central contracts for the team for the next 3 years in the middle of the tournament. Point number 2, they've made 3 changes from the previous 2 games, 3 consecutive changes, which means their entire, the nomenclature of the team, the overall fitting of the team wasn't sorted. Sir, do you think these 2-3 things come into play because the players then play for themselves because they know that there are 3 or 4 changes due for the next game? Your view, sir?
Definitely. I mean, you have to give confidence to the players, then only when they are sure their position is secured, then only they can perform better, because, you have to really give them confidence that, yes, you are there, you are our main players, you have to perform, you enjoy the game and you win the match for the team. But if it is the other way around, that, nobody is sure that who is going to, play in the next game or next series. So it becomes very difficult for the players to motivate themselves, and that is what is showing in the ground. Sunil, you rightly said this is one of the major causes of, England not doing well in this particular tournament.
Absolutely. You've got the shift in the house of, as we say, the house of cricket is now slightly shifting from England to the other parts of the world. You never know, India can get a chance to become and get the official tag of the home of cricket. Anyways, we'll take a step back and talk about three important things right now that are there in front of us. So, do you think the standing, will it become all the more complicated with one or two upsets here, or it's a clear run between the top 5 teams and the gap is widening between the latter half?
Really, the gap is widening, and I believe these 4 are strong contenders. Now, the top 4, I think they are going to be the top, the semi-finalists. Unless and until there is a major upset, and it is only Pakistan who stands some chance if they play well and there are other upsets. Otherwise, I believe these are the standings which are going to be there. India has almost reached there. So is South Africa and New Zealand. It is the 4th place between Australia, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka that they would be eyeing that 4th position. And the way Australians have started playing, I am very sure that they'll not leave it now. And I think they will try to be on 2nd or 3rd position.
Absolutely. We've had a late resurgent start from the Aussies and the Pakistan team. Tasmin Raja, you've seen how things can come back from the bottom of the food chain to suddenly coming up at the top. Did you expect South Africa to be the top 2, considering before you took the flight from Harare to Delhi?
Definitely. I think obviously they had a bit of a bad build-up leading up to this World Cup. But since their first game, they've shown that they've come back a rebuilt squad. They've changed mentally, I believe, not so much in the physical sense, but they've definitely brought their mental game down to this World Cup, and they've come out saying, look, we've got the intent, we know we've got the firing power, and we're just going to see what we can do with it. We're just here to play the simplest form of cricket. I think they're one of the teams for me right now that has one of the most concrete batting orders right down to number 7. We've seen Marco Jansen showing what he's capable of as well down the middle order.
Well, absolutely. Tasmin, one interesting thing I wanted to ask you about is yesterday Sri Lanka's bowling. Do you want to just talk about 2 of the good highlights of the bowling yesterday?
Yeah, definitely. I think it goes hand in hand. They didn't just bowl well, but as a fielding unit, they managed to back up their bowlers, which is something big that we've been seeing going on in this tournament. You have bowlers coming out and creating opportunities, and opportunities not being taken. I've been talking about half chances being converted into full chances, and I think that's something Sri Lanka definitely did brilliantly for me yesterday. They've managed to land the ball in all those areas that become tricky. They did as well. We heard their captain talking about it at the halfway mark, that they did manage to read that the pitch was on a bit of a slower side. And when it happens that way, you can't afford to bowl back of a length, because that sits up, that gives batsmen the opportunity to be able to pull at you and play a lot of horizontal shots. So I think they managed to read the pitch early on up front and see that it was on a lot more of the slower
Any specific bowler, because the stats are just going to come on our screen right now of a particular bowler. The entire bowling attack of Sri Lanka basically bowled in the good length area. Your views?
Yes, definitely. I agree with that, because what it actually does is you give batsmen that era of they need to decide. They need to decide if they're coming out to drive at it or they're going to wait for it to come to them. A lot of the times when you have batsmen coming out to try and drive at a ball that's sticking on the pitch and it's quick in the air and it's slow off the ground, you have a bit of hesitation. It brings in the question of, should I go forward or should I go back and wait on it? We seen yesterday the captain coming out trying to drive at a ball, but obviously not entirely reading that the fact that the pitch was on the slower side. So it looked like he got there. It looked like he was in the right line and everything, but the pace of the ball coming off the pitch was a lot slower, and he got caught behind as well by the keeper. Those are things that come into play the moment you have your bowlers being able to effectively bowl a good length.
So I'd like to go on to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma and ask him, so when the Pacers bowled in the overs again by Sri Lankan Pacers, so they're back of the line and they were very flexible in pulling their length back whenever the batters would want to come out, and they would without any fright, they would pitch the ball up as well. So do you think it helps to have an English coach and take care of the seam condition and the swing condition of the bowlers, because they were the team which got out all the players out, all the teams out, opponents out in the qualifiers, in the World Cup qualifiers 3 months ago, and they were very consistent with it. Sir, your views?
Yeah, definitely. It helps, to have an English coach, because they know a lot about seam bowling, because
Yes.
it seems a lot in England. Moreover, Sunil, Sri Lankans are very used to Indian wickets, because it is the same kind of wickets they get in Sri Lanka also. So they are, they are accustomed with such wickets, and they know you need not to bowl quick. You just need to bowl in good areas here, and you keep on altering your length. And that is what they have been doing. They have been mixing it so well that it becomes difficult for any batsman, to take advantage of it. And they are not trying to bowl too quick, and they are
Yes.
not giving room to the batsman. That is very important. They are just bowling in good areas within their limitations. And the best thing about their bowling is they are just moving the ball that much, that which is required to get an edge. Sometimes, you see a bowler getting too much swing, and he's beating the batsman, and suddenly an edge comes and it goes past second slip or third slip.
So,
But here,
a very interesting point you made. I must stop you here for the benefit of our fans and our cricket lovers who are watching the show. It's important, before the World Cup started, we were talking about 150, 145. We were talking of the chin music. Suddenly, you've made an interesting observation in the last 20 odd matches that it's not important to bowl very quick through the air in India, but you need to just hold on to your seam and length. Sir, you want to explain it to our fans for greater understanding of this concept?
definitely, Sunil. Here, wickets are not like what you get in Australia or South Africa, where you hit the deck and the ball will bounce. Here, you got to rely on your swing bowling, because ball doesn't come onto the bat as good as it comes in Australia. It comes on the bat. So here, you have to rely on your swing bowling, and you have to bowl in good areas. And rather, at times, you have to bowl cutters.
Yes.
That I've seen a lot of bowlers bowling with cross seam, because they don't want to give pace, they don't want to give length to the batsman so that they can hit it. And the ball is not coming that well, especially Australians or South Africans or even the English players are used to getting on their wickets. So it is easy to bowl such line where you don't give much pace and you bowl in good areas, and that is what Sri Lankans have exploited so well, and the results are seen.
Well, absolutely. Very interesting point you made, sir. And this will benefit the cricket lovers to understand the second or the third level of in-depth analysis that we've been making on this program. But also, for the benefit of our viewers, we tell them the technicalities and deconstruct it. Tasneem, one important point before we move on to the game today, all-important game. Tell me, are the foreigners, are the Englishmen and Australians and the South Africans you've seen, they commit to a shot and the flow is very easy. And in India, if the ball stops and then goes, is that the reason for their downfall largely? Because Australia seems to have resurrected and cleared that technical glitch that they had in the first two games. Your views, Tasneem, and then we move on to today's game.
Definitely, I think they have managed to, Australia's definitely managed to adjust and see and understand what's actually going on. Someone that did it perfectly for me, despite the loss yesterday, was Ben Stokes. There was a point in time in the game where you could see he tried to be conservative about it. He tried to go about punching and rebuilding the innings, and it wasn't entirely working out for him. After he got dropped down at point, you can see the mental switch for him. He just decided he's going to play his natural game. Anything that's coming in the slot, he's going after. He's not trying to punch it, hit it down the ground, or place it in gaps. Anything that wasn't in the slot for him, you've seen him playing a lot later and just letting the ball come to him, because at the end of the day, the slower it is, the harder it is for you to drive on the up. Hence the reason why, if you look at the field placements for me, where I think Sri Lanka actually did brilliantly, they had a guy at any given time, either a short mid-wicket just in front of the batsman on the leg side, or they had a short mid-off, a silly mid-off just in front as well, or they had extra cover sitting way in on the 30-yard circle, because it was hard for batsmen to get the drive on. So must drive at any given time was a wicket-taking position in yesterday's game.
Important. What about today's game? What do you think, and what's the stats for today's game, and what is your observation? Then we throw it on to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma.
So definitely, I'm with coach on this one. For the South Africans today, I think they definitely got something to work on too. You know, we've seen them concede a total of 588 runs in their past games so far this World Cup. That's in their last 10 overs, trying to take out the last 7 to 10 wickets. So I think for me, something that's going to be really important that Mr. Rajkumar mentioned today is how they vary their balls. You can't just rely on raw pace and swing towards the end. Their death bowling needs to come to the party for them today. They need to look to bowl more Yorkers. They need to look to bowl a lot more of the off-cutters, of the slower balls as well. And they need to execute. It's not just about the trying at this stage, because the tournament has moved on. Like you said, the gap is growing bigger and bigger, but it's about the execution for me now.
Absolutely, it's about the execution. Sir, Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, how do you think, you understand the Pakistan players' psyche and the fans' mindset. Do you think they'll require much more than the on-field performance? They need some players and perhaps luck, considering that they have to win all their 4 matches. Only then they'll have to hope on luck and get to the next round and top 4. Your view, sir?
Yes, somehow, Sunil, I think they have lost the plot. I mean, they are not playing to their potential. A lot was expected from their batting, but
Yes.
somehow it is lacking. Even if you look at the body language, it is not what Pakistan used to have. I mean, always Pakistan used to be a threatening side for anybody, but this time it is not looking like that. Even if you see the body language of the captain, he looks pretty low. So that is the major concern, I would say. They have to lift their body language. They have to, play to their potential. They have to play out of their skin to beat a team like South Africa, who have been playing so well. And about their bowling also, I mean, they really lack good spinners. So somehow they have to lift their game if they want to remain in this tournament. Since if they lose another game, I think it would be totally over for them.
Absolutely. If they lose another game, it will be totally out of the race for them. But at the same time, when you look at the overall performance, they've just been 36% very confident, and they've been scoring in the right directions, and they've been scoring boundaries in the first to the 10th over, and then when you move on to the 11th to the 40th over, they really come down slow, and that's when the average. So what is the romance of Pakistan batting with higher average? Because if you see, their average is one of the best in the world, and it doesn't resonate with the strike rate. So at one scale they are scoring, but they are holding on to the wicket. But when you come on to the end 10 overs, they don't explode. So what is that romance with holding on to the wickets in the middle order?
I mean, they are lacking in strategy. Sunil, you rightly said. I mean, they are not very clear that how they have to play. What are the roles of their batsmen? Like they have got tremendous batsmen, but somehow they have not been defined their roles. Somebody has to take the initiative. Like
Right.
if you allow their openers that you go and play your shots, we need 75 or 80 runs in first 10 overs. That is not happening because they are playing very conservative cricket, and they are just blocking there and not using the power play. And somehow in death overs also they are lacking some big hitters. And I mean, it is totally on one or two batsmen that they are relying. And once they are out, Pakistan is looking very vulnerable, especially their middle order.
Yes.
So there are a lot of concern for their batting as well as their bowling also. Pakistan have to lift their, play today if they want to do well, because they'll have to face a very tough team today.
Absolutely, they will have to face a tough team today. Tasmin, you've always supported the underdogs. Who's going to be an underdog today for you, and why?
Unfortunately for me today, I'm still going with the South Africans. I've been with them from the start of the tournament, and I think they're playing brilliant cricket. It is our cousins just from next door as well as Zimbabwe. But for me, I'd like to see it to be a competitive game. We haven't had one of those games that has gone down to the wire, that's got us all biting our nails and wondering what's going to happen. And I think a few key things for Pakistan today in order to get there is they definitely need Baba to come to the show up top in the order as well. But not only him, he needs the support of his teammates around him to help him construct and build an innings around him. I believe if they get one of their top 3 batters through to at least the last 35 overs, then they can definitely become a problem for South Africa. But looking onto it as well, I believe Baba's got to do better with his bowling changes. We've seen Harris Rauf struggling up front with the new ball, so I'd like to see him come in maybe around after the 15th over. I believe he can be a lot more effective once the ball's got a bit of shine taken off it.
What does Pakistan need to do in the bowling department quickly before we wrap up our show?
I definitely think that more better bowling changes, as well as it's just the way Baba shifts them around for me. We've seen Shaheen Shah Afridi, who's currently 4 wickets away from taking 100 ODI wickets for Pakistan. We've seen him bowling well, but we've seen him getting changed straight after bowling a maiden over in the last game. And for me, that doesn't completely give me a comprehensive thinking from Baba, because I feel like he's playing textbook cricket with his team, as opposed to just giving them, that trust as a captain and saying, go on and go ahead and just do what you think is right. I think you're firing right now in this moment. And if your seamers have what it takes, they still got a bit of steam in their engines, give them the ball, let them keep going. Don't fix what's not broken for me. That's something that's going to be important today.
Well, there are 4 big problems that is facing the Pakistan cricket team, especially at a time when we are facing their do or die survival kind of a thing. It's good for the fans that you have to have those close matches. Sadly, they don't even come very often in this World Cup.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.